If I hear one more productivity expert say, just eat the frog, I might just actually start a frog sanctuary. In case you've missed that one, eat the frog means doing your hardest, most important task first. First thing in the morning, that is. Sounds bold, sounds efficient, and for many brains, it works. Let's not poo-poo it. But for ADHD brains, it actually backfires badly. Here's what happens and what to do instead. Let's be real. Mornings are often rough for ADHD brains. I know for sure it is for me. You might wake up with brain fog, anxiety, inertia, and not exactly in the mindset for tackling your most intimidating tasks first. The eat the frog method assumes a linear ramp up, like you can go from groggy to greatness with willpower. But ADHD isn't linear. It's a roller coaster. Some days we launch, some days we stall, some days the brain doesn't even want to show up until noon. I know mine is like that some days. The issue isn't laziness or unmotivated. It's a mismatch between the state you're in and the strategy you're trying to force. So what happens when you try to force it? You open the laptop, you stare at the task, and you freeze. Your brain spirals. It says, I should be able to do this. Why am I like this? Maybe I need another coffee, or maybe I'll just scroll for just a few minutes. How many of us have done that? You start avoiding the thing, and even avoiding to just even do anything in general. That's called pre-procrastination, avoiding the prep that leads to hard things. It feels sneaky, but it's real. Over time, this cycle erodes self-trust, and that's far more damaging than skipping a to-do list. Here's the reframe that I would invite you to consider. You don't need to eat the frog. You need to prime your momentum. ADHD momentum isn't mechanical. It's truly emotional. You need to feel capable before you can tackle the hard stuff. So instead of jumping into that hardest task cold, and I'm not talking the cold plunges, try warming up. Pick something that actually brings you just a little bit of joy. Something that the stakes are not so high. Something that gives you a quick return to get your brain online, to get you activated, to remind you that you can do hard things. So maybe it's respond to 2 emails that are not emotionally charged, or sketch a rough outline of what your day should look like. My favorite is also mind mapping, just to kind of look at the visual side of things as it relates to your day. These are your brain primer tasks. They build readiness, not resistance, not put you in emotional dysregulation, which really prevents you from going. Movement also creates momentum. Forward motion, even a small amount of doing something primes the dopamine pump. So here's another thing. Your frog task, it might not belong in track 1. It may be something that belongs to track 3. Let me give you an example. One client of mine had to write a report every week. It kept getting put off until we tried something different. Instead of opening a blank sheet document and forcing the frog, she recorded 10 minutes of a voice note on her phone first to just verbally process out loud her thoughts. Then, no joke, she wrote the whole thing in 25 minutes flat. Flow doesn't come from pressure. It comes from momentum. Let's keep this practical. You need a brain primer list, a go-to set of actions that help you shift into gear. Think about what gets your brain to say, okay, we're working now, and it's time to launch. Ideas for your list could be a specific playlist you always start with, a 5-minute tidy up your desk. I do that often. A calendar glance to reorient your day, a voice note talking through what you're about to do. The goal isn't to delay the hard thing. It's to prime your brain to meet with energy, not dread. And here's a bonus tip. Track which primers lead to good results. You'll start seeing patterns. That's your personal playbook, and that's the system that you want to follow, the one that you created. You don't need to choke down a poor frog at 8 a.m. to prove you're disciplined. You need to wake up your brain, build a bit of a trust, and then move towards the big stuff with energy. Start with energy, not ego. That's how momentum gets started. And hey, if the frog still feels too big, maybe you don't need a frog, you need a new path. Go build that path, one step at a time, one self-observation at a time. And if you want to figure out what your brain primers are, I've got you in the next video. Let's leave the poor frog in nature and let's find your flow.